what do we got him listed at? 255 pound, I would say probably 260 pound frame, and great stamina. So I mean the transformation, you know, he couldn't have survived until his body transformed the way that it did.
He gave a lot of credit in his career to the Lightning package. How do you think that package at 3-down lineman has helped him become the player he is today? Because he gave it a lot of credit to where he is now.
Well, yeah, it allows an undersized, you know, defensive end in a 3-down front be successful because he's always moving, right? You're not asking him to, hey, go line up against this 320-pound offensive tackle and go two-gap him and go mano-a-mano with him. You're moving inside, moving outside, dropping off the ball. You're doing a lot of things to use your strengths to your strength, and their, you know, his strength is not going to be going nose up to nose up, you know, with a offensive tackle and just stalemating on the line of scrimmage. So I think the movement part of the Lightning package is probably the biggest thing that's helped him.
Tom, last fall you said that playing in a bowl game is the minimum, and that you want to create a legacy at Texas. How do you take that next step toward your goals and the maximum?
Oh, I think just the continuation of our mantras, which is develop and finish. You know, we continue to develop, you know, on the field. We continue to develop in the weight room. We continue to develop the relationships between the players and the players, player to player, player to coach, and then we continue to learn how to finish and then actually execute finishing, and then we'll step by step, incrementally, we'll you know, achieve all of our dreams. You know, it's not going to happen overnight, but we're taking some. We already have taken some mighty big steps compared to where our program was, and we plan to take some more mighty big steps this year and the years to come.
Yeah, previously you mentioned that you have realistic expectations for this upcoming season, but that said, I mean, how far away is this team, I guess in your mind, from being a national contender?
I have no idea.
You mentioned earlier the recruiting competition. I'm just wondering how you've seen the state recruiting landscape shift with Jimbo Fisher arriving at Texas A&M.
Coach Fisher does a great job. Him and his staff do a great job. Got a tremendous amount of respect for them. You know, played them in a bowl game when I was at Houston, and he was at Florida State, and got to know him a little bit there. And a lot of really good players. You know, if we're going to lose a player, you know, you want them to stick around. You know, I think it's good for the state of Texas. But again, as Coach Neuheisel said, and I told him today, you know, please don't ever let the beginning of his show. I listened to his show quite a bit, and he has a quote. You know, it's not the player that you don't get that's going to get you beat. It's the players that you do get that can't play to the level that you expect them to, that will, because they're yours for 4 or 5 years. And so there's a lot of really good players in the state of Texas, surrounding areas, and in the country. And, you know, we feel like, you know, when we sign a full class, we're going to have some of the, you know, top 5, top 8, you know, 25 guys in the country that fit our needs and that fit our culture.
Tom, whose idea was it when the 10th assistant became official and you sent Brian Carrington, one of your big-time recruiting analysts, you sent him on the road for a little bit? Whose idea was that, and just the impact he's had with recruiting, but helping out Derek Chang and those guys?
I think it was Derek Chang's idea. You know, he had asked me to hold off, knowing that, you know, the state of Texas, the process to get somebody hired and cleared and background checked and all of that stuff would take a while, even just to, if I announced a guy, it would still be X number of days until he could even get on the road. So he said, well, just hold off for a little bit and we'll put Brian on the road, get him into some homes, and it worked out great. And Brian does a great job, well, relating to young kids, obviously, because of his age. He's from Texas, he's from Houston, but he also does a very good job of developing the relationship within not just him and the player, but the recruits and the recruits themselves, you know, and he gets the parents together and he gets the recruits together, and he forms these bonds that allow guys to have a sense of pride.
What do you need to see out of Sam and Shane in order for the scales to tip in one of their favors?
Just the same thing we've talked about from the spring. You know, Shane continue to improve on his command of the offense and vocal leadership. And did I say Sam or Shane? I said Sam?
First time.
Yeah, I meant the other one, Shane. I get the S's mixed up. Shane is the the command of the offense and vocal leadership, and Sam is, you know, just continuing with his timing, accuracy, and ball protection.